This is Nomad's Isle, which is definitely a map that I'm glad is starting to see play again. You would say that because you were a warrior and you didn't like not being able to shock as much because you swung on the quicksand. I, however, as a flagger, like this map. There's a lot more
well, I
play
just
to it
enjoyed
than
exciting gameplay, so I generally didn't like this map. But, you know, flaggers like this map. JKJ.
I always thought there was a lot more, like, skirmishing on this one, because when flaggers are coming up, you can really hit them in the quicksand, really mess with the other team.
Yeah, it's definitely good flag pushing now.
By the way, Phil, you should open up another party window to see both teams at the same time.
But we're looking at triple melee and 2 mesmers. I believe they're both Dom. I haven't seen what Blood Red. Oh, I've seen his inspiration out of him. He has domination stuff as well. So it looks like very interrupt heavy for what are you talking about? 2 domination mesmers, and they're going up against a dervish spike. It looks like. Actually, it looks like more of a skirmish build. 1 melee ranger, 2 Ellie's, and a mesmer.
2 Dom mesmers, that's pretty interesting. Have people been running that lately? I haven't really been watching too many games, but I really haven't seen that in a long time.
I saw somebody get hit by 160 damage in Invoke Lightning, so that's pretty much the flux right now.
I don't think that's a huge deal though. You know, with the increased health, it almost evens out. Not quite, obviously, but I think that, you know, triple frontline is definitely the way to go. Because the sustained DPS over somebody spamming Invoke is much higher from a Dervish.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And with the dual Dom, those guys are going to get shut down a ton. I don't know if they got build wars, but, you know, both those aerials are going to have a hard time getting off their skills.
Well, one of them, Pat is a hero, just split off there and got killed in the bag, which is discouraging for their continued the split play that they seem to be going for. Ranger has point blank shot, so I imagine he's more of a spiker than a crypt shot guy.
Might actually be able to get this night before the runner gets back. I'm not sure though. Looks like, is the runner even gonna respond to it? Oh, there he goes now.
Do the burning arrow have the flux? No.
No, NPCs are never affected by flux. It's probably a little unfortunate for them. I'm sure they would have enjoyed the increased health.
What's the Emerald Seal do? Huh. So it looks like they kind of stalemated at the flag stand, so either one team's going to split, or they're going to really put pressure on each other's flaggers, as we see, you know, the Ranger of Galactic President's doing.
You know, I think that Hachi had a chance to kill Knight while the runner was not there, and he ended up not doing that. And I don't know if I agree with that. It seemed like he was trying to slow down the flagger instead when he had a perfect opportunity to finish a Knight that he was working on.
Well, I think the main reason he's split right now is because they had a hard time dealing with all the damage at stand. And because, what are you talking about, has to run with offense, you know, their monks recovered and they're pretty much stable at stand now. And
well,
Galactic President has a much better chance of killing with one person down.
If they wanted to spike, it was pretty much thrown out the window when they went against 2 Dom, because those Ellies are not going to be able to spike consistently. They're just going to get power blocked, and it's just not going to happen at stand for them.
I should probably.
There's a big kill right there. Dr. Grifo goes down. Hachi doing work.
Soloed? Or was there a fire?
I didn't see it,
there? I missed
but
it.
There's a fire
one set, so.
Yeah, you never want to die as a flag in your base. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, they have to send a monk back now, which looks like
well, their whole team is just gonna break. I mean,
stand.
That's just kind of when you lose a flagger in your base, your whole team has to try to respond. You get kind of skirmished around like this, where they're killing you in multiple places at once. So So we see monks
that's
dropping in
second
one
death on the
spot.
monk at the stand.
What did he get DP from that? Is that past 15 seconds?
It was close. I don't think he did actually, but now he's gonna be down for a full minute.
This
But yeah, once that
ZZZ
flagger-
guy did not dodge auto attacks very well.
Once that flagger died, it just caused a huge chain reaction. They had to send a monk back, and then the solo monk at stand died because of it, and their whole team just wiped because of it.
If they can get Wong Tai Li here, big meteor, before, they can probably get the knights and the bodyguard. That's a big kill right there. Now the dervish is going to try to ball these knights up to try to kill them. Didn't happen, not really necessary anyway.
Looks like they're just gonna play it safe and get only the knights and back up again. Which I can agree with. I mean, what are you talking about? It does have the stronger 8v8 build, I think. And awesm is definitely more split oriented, which is the one melee.
Yeah, one of the flavors of Nomad's Isle is just, you have no way of really, outside of just kind of standing up by the teleporter, of kind of keeping the other team from just kind of walking right back out and away from their ward room. Usually there's like a second entrance to the ward room and a back area. But Nomad's Isle has that long path to the ward that you have to go down. There's no side way. Which I think might hurt AWSM because to an extent they have to kind of let WTF stay together and keep that triple melee doing what it wants to do.
I mean, the spot where Galactic President engaged them here is pretty much like the sweet spot of Nomad's Isle, I'd say. Like exactly where you want to be to control the flag path and control positioning on the map is right on that island there.
Oh, that looked
That was
painful.
that was a huge kill on that flagger there.
So
He
DP
was holding
is
the flag, that is.
pretty brutal in his flux, I would imagine.
Yeah, just percentage-wise you lose so much more health.
And, you know, the armor, yeah, that's just not good. So, WTF's in a huge hole right now. Really big throw by the flagger. Don't like to call people out, but you can call them out.
But we do.
Of course, the entire team responded really poorly. Like, you know, one guy dies, you don't need to team wipe, especially if it's a flagger, not even at the stand. Like, yeah, you don't want to lose your base, but you don't want to lose your team either, and then lose your base. It's just pretty poorly done.
Well, Guild Wars is definitely a game of compounding mistakes, where it just goes downhill really fast.
I think they could have recovered from the flagger kill. If they didn't split off a monk immediately. Like, that's not a good response. To split off a monk versus this much damage.
I mean, if they didn't split off the monk, I think they would have at least lost the knight or something though, but that's still much less of an impact than just full team wiping because of it.
And the end result was a full team wipe and both knights, so
Yeah.
they definitely didn't answer well. What do they need to be doing right now? I mean, Galactic's presidents, they seem to be feeling it right now because they're going full on 8v8 right now. They think they got the edge and they can go in for the kill. We see Pat as a hero actually now moving off, of course, to spite me and what I observed.
Well, from what I've been told, WTF ran the two Dom Mesmers to try and spec Galactic President Superstar with their LAs and everything, and I mean, if you're trying to spec a team specifically for exactly what they're running, sometimes you end up just not being able to do anything if your plan to spec them doesn't work out at the start. Because, I mean, 2 Dom Mesmers and then 3 melee isn't really that adequate at running around and splitting. So
It looks like AWSM's trying to get back to where they were when they got the big chain reaction here, where they're trying to use the fire alley and the ranger to get a kill.
Yeah,
But
they
AWSM
definitely
this
did need to
time-
fall back there. But they just want to give their split some room to work.
That is definitely a big key for them, is keeping the battle stretched out so that response time is just increased a little bit longer. I don't really like Blood Red's
Definitely.
position right now, but you know, I don't think his team's in trouble.
I think they should be pretty safe at stand too, because WTF has that dervish back constantly to defending the split. Which
Yeah, it
they
wasn't
need to.
WTF
There's not much they can do
really
about
just eager to stabilize, like have the match kind of roll a few minutes before they try to make a play. Actually, their flagger, as I say that, Grifo is moving out again. He's going to be engaged one-on-one again. Let's see what happens.
They need a better response for this Ranger. He's just destroying them.
Yeah.
Like,
You
Flagger's
gotta dodge
fine,
that arrow.
but you know, you really don't need the healing at the stand because you have shutdown for their damage if you need it. You know, when they're
I'd love to
pushing,
see
they can
Pat
obviously
here.
switch the monks, but
Push. I'd love to see Pat go into the base right now. He's being followed pretty well by Lieutenant
Agree with
Lineback, aka Yoko, who's been a hero in some of our other casts.
I have no idea
Looks like
what
he's
that
going
monk
to the
was
base
doing
now.
They were trying to body block or something, I guess, or counter.
So they were
It was
trying
just
to
a
run in the
cluster up
flag,
there.
and they are the ones that ended up balled up.
I think they were trying to counter a body block by having their guys already in
Yeah.
position, and it just did not work out.
That seems like a
But
bad
Pat's
idea
doing
for
exactly what I said. He might have an opportunity here to kill this Lieutenant Lineback. Here comes Hatchie, he's got a pin down coming in. Oh, it's gonna be close.
I don't think it matters
Mage
at
Bane
this
for
point.
the kill.
Yeah, and
There's some stand teams also
And now
getting pushed in.
WTF has to fall back again now, or else they're just gonna lose the rest of their base.
Their flagger needs to push up here. He's got to help out his team, not pick up a flag. That's probably not what's needed right now. He got to go help out. Now he's dropping it. Just
You know,
waste of
I mean,
time.
Yeah, at this
One
point,
Tight gonna die for
Red-
this.
well, before they started team wiping, I was gonna say that Red's already boosted now. They should just abandon the flag and try to either do some kind of split or just try to full push. But
I think the DP
I mean-
is at the point where it's very hard to come back.
definitely, especially on
WTF
the number
needs to start
6,
splitting,
he has a
actually.
lot of DP now.
Mesmer's can actually split pretty well for a solo healer. Nah, they're already turtle.
Yeah, they're just getting pushed in now. The DP is at the point where these, and with one Dom Mesmer down to not stop spikes. That's a lot of cancel casting on Flesh of My Flesh here. But with one Dom Mesmer down, these Ellies are going to be able to get their spikes off. So everything's just kind of adding upon itself.
At this point, I don't think there's much else the WTF can do. I mean, they just have way too much DP, and they're turtled all the way back in their base. I mean, the one thing they can hope for is to hold out until 14 minutes when their whole team reses again and somehow get lucky and wipe Galactic's President, but
I cannot
It's
believe they haven't
looking
taken
quite
a death
unlucky
yet.
right
That is
now.
finally. They're under so much pressure.
I'd be pretty confident in calling this one.
indeed.
You don't feel like you're reaching in that?
No.
A 95 damage auto attack kills somebody.
That might be 60 on WTF's number 6 monk, or close to it at least.
I
He's died quite a lot.
Can they just end it right here?
No, but I mean, there's
That
no
was
way
a complete
WTF
full
is gonna
team
stay
wipe
alive
at
for
14
long.
minutes after they've wiped multiple times already.
I don't know why they're scared right now. I mean, they're all at +10.
Yeah,
WTF is
they
like
really
all
should've
at
just
-30.
balled them up on that ramp there and just killed
Yeah,
them
I
one
agree
final
with
time.
Kyle. They had a huge opportunity right there. Maybe they're worried about fighting if 8 but this just lets, like, I mean, Guild Wars, weird things can happen, especially once you're past like the 14, 15 minute
Yeah,
mark of
I mean,
just weird things happening.
normally
killing
I
Guild
would say that it's fine that they can just play it safe, but I think playing it safe is honestly just staying in their base to control their position. Because I mean, now they can run around again now that they've backed so far out. So this is like not as safe as just staying in their base.
Well, this warrior's in a lot of trouble. Oh, there's a prop monk up there. I don't know where this push team here, going out the front, is going. I mean, they don't even have a flag. It's just kind of Not a
They're
good position
just
to be
totally
in.
scattered. I don't think they know what they're doing. At all.
It looked like they've really wanted to do work up at the top, and it's just not happening. And
there
eventually,
goes
not
Monk
having a
again.
prop monk is just gonna result in a death on your heal monk. And there with the final resigns. So, spec failed or what?
And not running a snare on any map seems horrible, but Nomad, you know, like they just had no answer for that ranger. Like they dropped their offense and you can't kill anybody at stand, and you drop your flagger and you get soloed where you shouldn't have, and the game's over. So, not the
That's
best
a
play.
tough spot for a flagger to be in. I mean, if the ranger's on you and a fire alley comes over, there's really not much you can do.
Yeah,
And
I
they just
understand
meteor
the
you.
thought process. Like micro aside, the thought process behind the build is fine, but you can't run that with no response for a split. Like that's just silly. Gonna watch the American